Welcome to Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I am your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani. We're up to part 2 of Poison in the Pacific.
In the previous episode, I investigated the winner's gazebo, where Elise, Leslie and Ronan spent the evening, and where Elise died.
He then investigated Elise's bag, in which he found her empty water skin, her nearly empty sunscreen, and a safety booklet.
After that, I spoke to Elise's cameraman, Jeremy, and found out that there was one contestant who hated Elise. Benny. Okay, so Benny. You think Benny is has an existence? What do you mean by that, Jez? What's happened between Elise and Benny? Jez? Sorry, I apologise. Jeremy.
Thank you. I don't know a huge amount, but basically, this alliance formed really early on, and they had dominated everything. Even though there weren't that many of them initially, they held on to their numbers strongly enough that 3 of them are left now.
Okay,
so it's
and who was
3
this
versus
alliance?
3. Well, that was Elise, who was heading the whole thing, Zana and Ronan.
Okay, so Elise... Oh, she didn't bring Zana with her on the thing. Oh, that's fair. Zana and Ronan are Alliance...
Blue.
Alliance
They're
Blue.
the Blue Alliance. That was because that was the colour of the hats that they were given at the start.
Sure. The Blue Hat Alliance.
And Benny hated being on the outs of that. He was really annoyed that he's the physical threat. He's really tough and all that. He's good at challenges, but that didn't matter. He was always on the bottom. And Elise was the one running the show, so not a fan of that.
Okay.
And it really spilled over that he was jealous.
Do you think it became a personal animosity issue?
Totally. He wouldn't hang out with her outside the show.
Interesting. So Benny hates Elise and then Elise dies. But surely, like, Benny, you would have noticed if Benny had come over to the gazebo at all overnight.
Absolutely.
There's no way that could have gone unnoticed?
No way.
Okay, interesting. He would have had his own cameraman follow him anyway.
Yeah, presumably.
Or whoever was on call at the main camp.
Yeah, so the way it would have worked is if the other 2 were completely dead to the world asleep, then yeah, Deirdre, who was on duty then, would have followed him.
Otherwise she'd...
When he started going... not when. God, what am I saying?
Slip of the tongue. Murder.
If he started getting that far away, she probably would have called to someone on the on-call tent, and whoever his camera operator is.
Interesting.
I'm not friends with them, apparently. I don't know their names.
Rude. No, do I have? I've just got written down 4 cameramen.
Yeah, Benny's cameraman, Marvin, would have been called in to take over, and Deirdre would have rushed back to camp to make sure that nothing else happened back there.
But no such call was made?
No way.
Oh. Interesting. So if Benny was involved at all, it would have had to be before. When were they all last together? Before the challenge started?
Oh, well, during the challenge.
During the challenge.
Yeah.
Can you tell me... Let's go back. Maybe something happened during the challenge.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Would you be the one to talk to about that, or should I talk to Adam about it? Adam would have been there for running it. I don't need your expertise, Jeremy. I'm going to talk to Adam.
It really depends on what sort of insight you want. Like, if you want the more personal stuff, then the contestants themselves would probably be where to go with. I got a visual on whatever Elise was doing, but I don't really do much when she's not.
I'm going to talk to Adam.
Okay. All right. Hi, we're back again with Adam.
That's the Adam voice? So different.
He's the TV show voice.
It's so wildly different character. There's no way you could ever get these people confused. Actually, that's true. That's pretty distinct.
I'm pretty sure you're mocking me, but whatever.
I thought I was, but actually, it was very clearly a different person. So you did well.
Thanks.
You're just not putting on silly voices, which is not so fun, but it's very reasonable. Adam.
This is a serious arc.
Adam? No,
yes.
It's not. Really? You think the Gilligan's Guile arc is our serious... scary, real true crime arc.
What do you want, detective?
Now, Mr. Gilligan,
It's Gil, but okay, I see where you're coming from.
No, it's Gilligan. I've run him.
Common mistake.
It's Adam Gilligan. If that is your real name. Adam, could you give me a bit of a rundown of the challenge, the immunity challenge, the 3-section challenge that happened before the murder?
So the specific one from last night?
Yes, specifically last night.
Yeah, no worries. So, you know how the 3 stages normally go?
I'm just going to get a new page of my notes for this. Sure. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
So you know how the stages usually go. The first stage is the brawn round.
Yep.
Where we go out onto the floating arena and it's 1v1 wrestling, randomly drawn.
Okay.
They wrestle, they go up against each other, and one of them eventually gets pushed into the water. Now, the 3 winners move on to, well, in this case it was 3 because there were only 6 of them. The 3 winners move on to the memory challenge.
Now, before you do the memory challenge, who are the pairs for the wrestling?
I've got that written down.
Oh, you should just remember it. You were there, were you not?
Yeah, you make a good point. So, it was Elise versus Shannon.
Okay.
Oh, do you want me to go in order of when they happened?
Yeah, please do. Go in
Okay.
order.
All right. So Leslie versus Zana.
Okay.
Then Elise versus Shannon. Then Ronan versus Benny.
Interesting. And were they close matches? Engaging television?
Oh, some of them more than others. Always the case.
Fair.
I mean, Leslie versus Zana. Have you seen Leslie?
Yeah, that's true. And Zana's only 4'7"
Well, I mean,
and weighs 18 kilos.
Now after over a month on the island, who can say?
It's an unhealthy weight for 4'7".
It's an unhealthy weight for not a 7-year-old.
Exactly. Okay, wonderful.
But yeah, the others, yeah, reasonably okay. Like Ronan clearly was going to lose against Benny from the start.
So how did he win?
He didn't.
What? Oh, he lost. But he got picked by the winner.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so who won these matches?
Oh, okay. So yeah, Elise won against Shannon. Pretty tight match there. And Benny won against Ronan. And Leslie obviously won against Zana.
Okay. So Ronan, who lost in the first match, ended up going to the winner's gazebo.
Yeah.
But Leslie went through and Benny went through. So the second round we had Elb. Elise,
Yeah.
Leslie.
If
and
that
Benny.
helps you remember it, absolutely. So those were the 3 who went to the memory challenge, which is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You get given a statement that is read out by one of our crew. You get some pictures to look at, and you have to do your best to recreate that yourself.
Okay,
To
sure.
say the same thing yourself and to match things up to how they looked before.
All right, so this is the brains section.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
assuming the third challenge is a beauty challenge?
That's a great idea. Let's do that next time.
TM. Okay, so the memory challenge. And how do they the first 2 to get through win? One person loses?
Whoever loses is out, and the next 2 go on to the final.
Interesting. Okay.
Basically,
What are the eliminated contestants doing during this round? Are they watching?
sitting and watching.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, obviously, when there were more than just 6 contestants, what would happen is this memory challenge would last much longer, and it would go until there were 2 left.
Of course. But now it's very quick. So how did the memory challenge go?
Leslie lost.
Leslie, you loser. So we're down to EB, White, for...
Yeah, no, it fits his character arc, really. He's not the brains contestant.
Sure.
He made it through to the memory challenge from the wrestling challenge many, many times.
And never got through.
Not so much.
Oh, poor Leslie. Doesn't remember
He
anything.
had to rely on being friendly enough to get picked by whoever did win,
Fair.
which is hard because he wasn't in that main alliance. Whew.
No, he wasn't. It was just Elise, Zane, and Ronan.
Zana.
Zana, not Zane.
Zane's from the last arc.
Oh, yes, you're right.
I mean, there were more members of that alliance. They just...
They're the final 3, that's fine. So in the third round, it was endurance,
Exactly.
beauty.
I mean, there is a certain beauty in climbing a tree. But yeah, so that was Benny versus Elise. Elise won. She picked Leslie and Ronan to go with her to the gazebo.
Interesting. Was that an expected result for Elise to beat Benny? How endurable is Benny?
How endurable is Benny?
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's a big, tough guy. They rely on their muscles for certain things, but they don't necessarily train him in all things.
Okay.
So he did well, I'm not going to lie, but sometimes there are some challenges that aren't suited to the big ones.
Yeah, okay, fair. So at least one. So I'm trying to think, is there any point, this is an aside, before you jump in, Adam, this is an aside.
Understood. Take your time.
So is there anything during this event that perhaps there was like an opening for poison? You'd think if she had been poisoned, she would not win an endurance challenge, right? How, Adam, I'm out of my side.
Yeah.
Elise's matches, they were fairly well contested. It didn't look like they were thrown.
What you mean?
Both her
in the
wrestling
arena.
and her endurance. Did Benny obviously didn't endure as long as Elise, but did he endure for a reasonable amount of human time, or did he drop out super
Oh,
quick?
for sure. This was...
They were hard-won victories.
It's not a surprise that Elise won this. She didn't look like she was struggling. She looked pretty comfortable.
Hard-won victories from a person who looked very solid.
She's at home a yoga person, so she probably did
she's
one of
a
those
yogic
meditative
person.
what do you call them? States? Meditative states.
Yeah.
She probably did that and just blocked out the pain. And yeah, her wrestling match, she's not wonderful at them. Lucky for her, Shannon is the one person who is worse. Shannon does not win in the arena.
3 wooden legs.
That would help her.
Okay, so my thought, back to my side, please, Adam. Just please go get
Yeah,
go
no
get a
problem.
cup of coffee or
Do you want to know if the memory challenge seemed thrown, or because that's a guarantee that was not thrown?
No,
That's just Leslie.
yeah. So yeah, if she had been poisoned before this, if it was a poison thing, I'm stuck on poison because it seems like the only viable way to kill a person in this fashion, if it's a murder. And given that it's part of our show, Solve This Murder, I'm assuming it's probably a murder. If she'd been poisoned before the match started...
Maybe this is actually a lesson to listeners of the show that it's a when all you have is a hammer situation. You know this show is Solve This Murder. Well, not everything's a murder, Billy.
This is not a case of me having a hammer and thinking everything this is a nail. This is a case of someone bringing me a bunch of nails and going, these are nails, wink, and then I'm supposed to figure out that they're not really nails. That's the situation here.
If someone brought you a box of nails and said, these are nails, wink, you'd take their word for it that those were nails?
I trust people. I assume they're winking at me because they find me attractive. So back to my chain of thought, please. If this had been something where they had been poisoned before the match started, you wouldn't have think they would have done very well in the match, right? The poison hadn't kicked in, perhaps, but if there's a moment where someone delivered the poison to them, let's assume it's fairly quick acting, it's poison. It could have happened at the gazebo, but it didn't seem to. I was wondering if it could have happened during the match, which it could have, right? If for some strange reason, Shannon had wanted to poison Elise with a little hypodermic poison needle that they'd smuggled onto the island, a wrestling match would be a fine time to do it. Maybe it doesn't kick in yet, so it could have happened during the match. But I think if it had happened much earlier, maybe she would have been, flagging during the match. She would have been like, oh, no, I can't, So it'd be interesting. It'd maybe depend on, maybe we can get a report from the boffins in the lab that might give us some indication of whether, there was poison. In that case, how long it takes to act, if that's the type of poison. I'm not really sure, though. We might have to get a tox screen.
Sorry, I just heard you say the word tox screen. It's going to, obviously getting anything to the mainland is going to take a while. And also, we don't want to cause any undue alarm for anything.
Undue?
Look,
a woman is dead.
Look, we've hired you because...
A woman is dead, Adam.
I know, but there are many different ways that a person can die, many different things. Look, it's all good to say you want to test her blood for whatever, but you've been brought on to see if there is something fundamentally wrong with the show versus one of the people that we were unlucky enough to put on the show. Obviously, this season's been cancelled.
Good.
You're here to find out whether the entire show is cancelled.
Sure. So I should get a tox screen.
So we've got to keep this under wraps for a little bit. We want you to have your opinion first.
All right. Fine. I'll solve a mystery. If I must, I'll solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. A woo-woo. Okay, so what am I going to do? Maybe it was poison. Interesting. Is there much physical connection during the endurance or memory rounds? They don't touch each other,
no.
do they? They don't get close to each other.
No.
The wrestle, they're all real close in wrestling. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I wonder who I should talk to now. I feel like there's so much stuff that I could be figuring out.
Yes.
I don't want to spend time figuring it out.
That's just really good to hear when I'm worried that you're going to solve a murder in 5 minutes.
Okay, so maybe I should talk to the med team who found the body. I'm assuming the med team have looked at her body and found the body and...
The med team has left their statements stating that they can't identify an immediate cause of the issue.
Okay, that's fair, but they're not. I mean, really, they're an emergency response team. They're not really autopsy people.
Exactly.
Or medical examiners.
Yeah.
They're some doctors and paramedics, nurses, first aid people.
So they're more just hanging around at the
Person
moment,
with some band.
trying to see if they can do anything to help the other contestants with their trauma.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. Mysteries. How do you solve a mystery?
You talk
I
to
should
more
talk to
than
more
two
people.
people.
I've talked to more than two people. All right, let's go and let's talk to Elisa's ghost. I get a seance going.
Gotcha.
No, let's talk to Leslie. Let's start to talk to these peeps. Hey, Les.
Hey, Biff.
It's not my name.
What was it?
It was Bill Billingham, King of Police.
I mean, you can see why I wouldn't remember all that, right?
Look, just do a shortened, just to do the
Okay,
the
Bill
acronym of my just of my
King
title, just
Bing.
of my title.
I'm going to call you Bing.
No. You can just
Sorry.
abbreviate my title.
You're Bing now.
It's King of Police, so just call me Cop.
Ask me whatever you want, Bing.
I'm going to talk to Ronan. Hi, Ronan.
Hey. What's up? Ronan, compared to Leslie, who you just had that brief moment with, Leslie's a big guy.
Sure.
Ronan, not so much. He's exceedingly average height, slightly less than average build. Even he's been starved for a month and he's still got a little bit of a belly. He's got a little bit of muscle, I suppose, but the kind that just comes from your natural everyday stuff, not from actually putting any effort into them.
Okay.
And he just goes, hey.
Ronan, I want to talk to you about Elise, obviously.
Well, yeah, duh.
How well did you know her?
I mean, we were pretty together for the whole thing. Not together. We were strong allies in this game.
Alliance Blue.
What?
Alliance Blue.
Did people call us that?
Yes.
Oh. Ugh. I mean, I said in my starting interview that I was going to be a sneaky betray person.
Ooh, but you weren't. You formed an alliance.
Huh.
Nice one, Ronan.
I didn't know that that's how people saw me.
Yep, as a strong alliance follower
Oh, man.
who'd never think for themselves.
But the opportunity just hadn't come up yet.
Ah, sure. Now it never will. You'll be forever remembered.
I suppose there was the Mishi vote, but I was the last to know about that too. Oh, that...
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess... I don't want to say I'm glad the season's cancelled, but clearly that wasn't working the way I thought.
Yeah. Now you can come back for another season. And try again.
Yay.
So you were in an alliance the whole time. What did you think of her?
I guess so. She was kind of annoying in that sort of way. Like, you know what she did? She's a journalistic ethics master's student. She kept telling us that. It was like her soundbite was, well, as far as ethics is concerned, like she refused to lie. She refused to betray anyone. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So she was a leader, I guess, but only because it sort of let her be there.
Fair. Hey, look, if there's one thing I hate, it's ethics in journalism. Okay, so what happened on the day that she died? Yesterday. What happened yesterday?
Well, nothing really interesting happened until the challenge, I suppose. I knew that I was going to be taken on reward if she won, and she did. Good for her.
Why did you know that you would be taken?
Because we've been in an alliance since the beginning.
Zana wasn't taken.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, but that's okay. It's not that weird because at the moment we were 3 versus 3.
Trying to bring someone on from the other side.
Exactly, and Leslie has been all over the place. Like, his isn't even betraying, it's just vote with whoever he feels like that day. So, I guess Elise thought that he was the best bet for us to try to chomp out Benny.
Chomp him out. All right.
That's what we say. It's an acronym. Don't ask me what for.
What is it for?
You can figure it out. You watch the show, I suppose.
All right. Chomp. Chomp them out. Conglomerate and
Oh, this is a bad
heap
start.
our many points, because you vote by like putting how many points someone has on. So you conglomerate and heap your many points on someone. As a group, you conglomerate and heap our many points onto a single person so they get voted off.
All right.
That's it. Chomping them out.
You passed.
I did it. I solved the mystery. Okay, so
So yeah, it wasn't that weird, and honestly, if Zana felt like this was a betrayal, great. More fuel for the two of us to vote her out later.
okay.
To vote Elise out later. I mean,
Oh, I see. So
Wait.
you're going to vote Elise out eventually.
well, yeah, the three of us were probably going to make the final three, and I'd vote
Yeah.
out Elise.
Fair. She was good. She'd beat both of you at the end. Neither of you could have beaten Elise at the end.
I mean, people said that, but I don't know. I don't see why anyone would like that. I mean, don't people watch the show for the lying and stuff?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is an audience vote, isn't it, for the final? Okay. This is so relevant to the murder, or maybe it's not. Okay, so was there anyone else in the group that didn't like Elise?
That trick question?
Was there anyone in the group who did like Elise?
Elise could be annoying. She'd get on anyone's nerves. I mean, Zana worshipped the ground that she walked on, but besides that, nah, everyone, it was a game. I don't think she was very good at it, but she was the head of the alliance, so I worked with it. Anyone who wasn't working with her got voted out. I'm sure they were bitter about that. Benny especially. Benny hated this stuff.
Benny really did hate her.
Oh, he hated everyone who didn't have a 0% body fat.
Oh, Benny's that kind of a guy? What a butt.
Yeah, he's the one who thinks, oh, but I did so well in the arena and I don't get any reward for that. Oh.
Yeah, okay. It's a butt. All right. Okay. Anything weird happen on the day? Can you remember anything from the day, from the morning you woke up to the challenges? Anything that was odd, different about today?
No, I don't think so. Sorry. That's not the exciting answer you were hoping for.
What were you doing down by the rocks overnight?
I was searching for a token.
Searching for a token?
Well, a clue for a token, most likely. But you never know. It's getting late in the game. Maybe they'd swap things out.
Why do you think you need the token? Don't you have a strong alliance?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want it? For one thing, it stops anyone else getting it. Like, if Benny had won, what would have happened then?
True. Maybe if Benny had won, maybe Elise would still be alive.
Yeesh. Thanks.
Had Elise been complaining at all recently about feeling unwell or feeling sick or feeling like she was about to die in her sleep?
Oh, man. Now that I think about it, she was a little bit woozy later in the evening.
Oh, before she went to bed.
Yeah.
She did go to bed early, didn't she?
Yeah. Look, it might be nothing. Everyone has their times of being woozy. We're really hungry out there. And everyone...
She can't be that hungry. She had pizza.
Yeah, she didn't have much. Anyway, everyone also gets sick every now and again. Like, some of us went through wild sicknesses throughout the early days. Getting our bodies just adjusting to all of this. And pizza can have the opposite effect. It can make your body struggle to readjust to normal food. Look at what happened to Leslie.
Yes, true. I noticed... Sorry, go on.
If I had to guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the arena, she got a concussion and nobody noticed. And that was what was going on. Like, I know that people are investigating this like a really serious maybe murder, but I don't see that happening no matter how much some people might have hated her.
Interesting. Now, can you explain, answer something for me, Ronan? You have a reward. You get there, you get this food that you wouldn't normally have on the island. You didn't really partake much in the drinks. Seems unlikely to not maybe have a beer. There were 30 beers there. 30 beers! You could have had 10!
I could have. Let's be honest here. I was saying that I wanted to keep my head sharp for the clue search. Probably didn't need to do that, but I thought it would play a little bit better to make me look a little sneakier.
You're so dumb. Such a dummy. Okay, thanks. Interesting. See you, Ronan. Get out of here. Can you bring Leslie back?
Have fun.
While he's getting Leslie, let me just have an aside. The fact that he was so willing to put forward, like, oh, maybe it was a concussion. This could be nothing. Maybe this is how she died. Seems to me that maybe he's trying to put suspicion of himself or somebody else that he knows. I'm just saying, maybe he's the murderer. So far, my money's on Ronan. Yeah, let's talk to Leslie.
Binka!
I'm going to talk to Benny.
All right. Leslie dances off. Yeah. That's Benny. That's all he says.
So Bill canonically is like 0% body fat, hyper muscular guy. So I go up to Lenny and I go, to Benny, and I go, Benny, you son of a gun. And,
nice try.
And clump hands together.
Good job. Did it work? Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Well, that's his favorite movie. He does it right back.
Yeah, and our biceps go.
I like you.
All right. Hey, Benny.
Hey, what you want? What you want to hear?
The truth.
Bring it on. Ask me anything.
What do you think about Elise?
How much do we allowed to? I know that it's not polite
Speak
to.
ill of the dead. Say speak ill of the dead.
Yep. All right. I'm sure everyone's told you then, so I might as well get ahead of it. Yeah. Didn't like her at all. She just picked people totally arbitrarily.
What was that?
Arbitrarily.
One more time.
What's the matter with you?
Go on, please.
Didn't matter how talented they were, and suddenly they were unstoppable and super powerful. Which is crap because she talked all about her morals and how ethical she was, but she didn't have any honor.
No honor, I say. She was ethical but had no honor.
Exactly.
What do you mean? What makes you say she had no honor?
Because if you have honor, you respect your competition. And you find a worthy adversary, someone worthy of taking further.
And you think you were that worthy adversary?
I could beat her in anything, of course.
Apparently not. You lost to her in the immunity challenge?
Yeah, it was something about that.
What about that? What do you think happened?
Oh, come on. As if she would have beaten me.
Well, she did.
I'm in a yoga trance. That was rigged. I don't know who did that, but someone in production rigged it.
How could it be rigged?
I don't know.
It's a tree that you're holding onto.
I don't know.
Unless you think she was literally rigged. Fun.
I don't know. Maybe sandpaper was involved. That's how people rig things nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, they eat sandpaper and makes them stick to trees better.
Yeah, there's something about like osmosis and getting those frog fingers so you can stick to things better. I've read a book about that.
Oh, she was a frog finger. She was one of those frog finger people.
Anything could have happened. I don't know, but I don't trust it.
Okay, interesting. If someone had rigged it in her favor, who do you think would have rigged it?
Well, anyone in production, they loved her.
But they don't love you?
I mean, not like why would they if they love her? They know that I don't like her and she doesn't like me.
Okay, interesting. How do you feel about your place in the game, Benny? Obviously now that it's cancelled, it's over. I'm so sorry. Dreams shattered. I apologize. Hopefully you get on a new season. But how do you feel about where you were in the game? Were you worried about your position?
Of course I was.
You thought she was going to vote you out?
Someone in the alliance was going to vote out one of us three. And it was just a matter of finding out who you could redirect it towards. I was maybe a little bit overconfident, but it seemed to work. Basically, I tried to take advantage of the Zana thing. What's
the Zana thing?
Oh, just that Elise didn't pick her?
Oh, of course.
So Elise had immunity. There was no way I could convince her of that. But I thought maybe if I could get Zana to vote for Ronan, because Ronan's a piece of wet grass. Elise was obviously going to take him to the end because he'd be an easy victory.
Sure.
So I was trying to tell Zana that.
So the seeds of distrust.
Yeah, so that she'd get rid of Ronan first, just so that I could survive another day. I'm sure Leslie and Shannon would have been fine voting him off. And yeah, it seemed like she was receptive.
Okay,
But beyond that, it was still a gamble. So no, I won't say that I was good. I wasn't in the Blue Alliance.
Fair.
What a boring season that would have made.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So Benny himself. This is an aside, Benny. Don't listen. Benny himself has no honor because he's a sore loser and thinks it must have been rigged. Do you think there's any? I don't believe him enough to think there's any basis to that having been rigged. I don't think that's a real path to go down. Unless someone did rig it so that she would win, so that she would die, knowing that there was poison there. But she knew also that she would have sent to other people. Unless this all came from, like, Shannon, who deliberately lost by wrestling real poorly the entire season just to make it believable, and sent her up there, knew that she wouldn't get picked because Elise doesn't like her, and then had the whole thing. That seems wild. I start to feel like maybe this is not a murder, but just like an accident, because it seems crazy that someone would murder on Gilligan's Guile to win Gilligan's Guile.
I totally agree. If anyone killed her to win, that was pretty stupid of them.
Yeah, right?
They wouldn't see it coming that it was going to be cancelled.
Yeah, so maybe they're just trying to poison her to make her be worse at stuff. Maybe someone was trying to rig it for you.
I wish. I mean, under the circumstances, no, I don't wish. But no.
Maybe she was poisoned
that just wasn't how it was going
in
down.
The day so that she would be weaker, but the poison didn't kick in till later, and then she drank, went to bed and died. Interesting.
Like some...
Like a slow-acting poison.
Mixed about with drinks and...
Well, no, maybe before the challenge. They were just trying to make her lose a challenge. I don't know why you'd poison her when she had immunity, right? Because that wouldn't help anything. Because you don't need to do a challenge for 3 days.
Oh, sorry. I was... Yeah, anyway.
Oh, what drinks? There were other drinks?
No, that was exactly what I meant. The drinks at the gazebo.
Yeah, that's my prevailing theory. But I think maybe it happened earlier and it was a slow-acting thing. Someone was trying to make her perform worse so she wouldn't win so that they could vote her out. Maybe that's what it was. It happened earlier in the day. It has nothing to do with what was going on in the winner's gazebo. Benny, do you know that Elise was trying to chomp you out?
That doesn't surprise me. Didn't I just say that?
That's true. What does chomp stand for, Benny? You know the game. What does chomp stand for?
Conglomerate. That's how that one's pronounced, right?
Yeah, yep.
You know, conglomerate heaps of many points. You're nodding.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so Benny thinks maybe it was rigged. Ronan is an average guy. That's what my notes say. That's it. Ronan, average guy.
He is worse than an average guy, trust me. His game was pathetic.
Yeah, he says he was trying to be sneaky, but it seems like he was just...
Exactly, he said that at the start. Oh, nah, he joined the Alliance as soon as it existed and just never moved.
Yeah.
Never deviated from a vote.
So who was playing a good game? Benny?
If you're looking for people who were actual risks of winning, if they managed to survive longer, Shannon. Shannon is the smart one.
Interesting. But she can't wrestle.
Can't win in a arena to save her life. She can barely walk on her own legs. But if you want someone who could be sneaky and cunning and all of that stuff that's required for a murder, I assume, that's her.
Interesting. What, do you think it was pretty much on track that Elise was going to win?
Yes. I think that there was no way that they weren't doing everything they could behind the scenes to make that the case.
Behind the scenes?
Well, yeah. Like shooting the cameras, the questions that they were asking her, the elimination interviews, all that sort of stuff.
So you think the game was rigged in her favour completely?
I know the game was rigged in her favour completely.
Do you have any evidence? That's a pretty bold claim, Benjamin.
Well, a couple of us there heard it.
What did you hear?
One of the team was complaining about it, saying that they didn't like how obvious it was what they were doing.
Who was that?
That was Jeremy, the camera guy. And he would know. He was her cameraman.
Interesting. The game was rigged from the very start. Rigged with poison in her heart. They're gonna poison the winner. Maybe Jeremy poisoned the winner to get the show cancelled. So wouldn't go on his permanent cameraman record that he was
Yeah, you know, cameramen really get blamed for this.
Solve This Murder is created by Bill Sunderland and Dani Siller. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at Solve This Murder. For questions, queries and theories, send an email to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. Thank you to Jared, Devon and Whit of Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for creating our theme music. And thanks to all of you for listening.